and I did the match. I remember driving there, and I'm like, what in my life led me to this situation right now? I'm going to go do jiu-jitsu in a car.
Yeah. Okay.
Back in there, baby, just stay in a town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down. I get too high, I'm afraid.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Garbage to Gold podcast. I'm your host, Joe Davis, and today I've got Jared Brammeier.
Brammeier. Yep, there you go.
Awesome. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Jared Brammeier, blue belt under Kirk Huff at Arnold BJJ. Just competed at Pans. When was that?
About a month ago.
Took third place.
Yep, I got bronze.
What was that like?
It was cool. It was my third time at Pans. My first time at blue belt. And it was a lot of fun. I was really excited to compete. I felt awesome. Felt like I really had a good chance at winning it. And I just came up a little short in the semis to a very good guy.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt amazing. I was excited to watch my teammates like Sarah and Dakota compete.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt good to be there.
Everybody trains so hard, like from January until what was that, the middle of March?
Yeah.
So that was like a hard, good 3 months. Everybody was training pretty much every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just tell like the training was different than what it sometimes is. Like Arnold's always pretty tough, but you could tell that heading into Pans from January, I noticed January to March was like a different level. Everybody was going hard.
Absolutely. So like Pans is one of the biggest tournaments in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So like, and Kirk does a great job of leveling up our training leading up to major competitions like that.
Yeah.
So it was the same like last year when we had 5 people do Pans. We did the same thing. We ramped up, and it was a hard training block for that period. And this year was the same way, but it was great.
Yeah. No, I like I didn't compete in Pans, and I don't know if I ever will. But it's fun to be a part of,
mm-hmm.
because it's just like it's a different level, and to see everybody coming in every day, putting in the time and the dedication, and just to see like a kind of a small gym and outside of St. Louis, like that many people that are really dedicated to trying to win, because jiu-jitsu isn't like a a sport that pays a bunch of money, so it's kind of like it's strictly just dedication.
Yeah, like you said, like we're a very small gym.
Yeah.
Like at most on a good night we have 30 people on the mat.
Right. And that's good.
That's a very good night. And with the amount of concentration, like we compete very well. All of us compete very well when we do compete.
Yeah.
For a small gym, we do I think the best out of St. Louis.
Yeah. And like that gym is just so much harder than a lot of the other places I've trained at. Like it's just the way Kirk sets up the class and
mm-hmm.
just like the pace, and it's not like it's just a couple of people that train hard. It's everybody.
I've been to most gyms in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. Like I live in North St. Louis County.
Yeah.
I drive 35 minutes to go to Arnold every day.
Damn.
Because training is that much better there. I think so. And like I'm a competitor. I want to compete. I want to win. That is my goal in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I have to go to the place where that will allow me to do that.
It's kind of weird how there are a lot of people who in our gym are competitors and are like, I would say, I don't want to really say hobbyists. I don't, like, not everybody competes all
mm-hmm.
the time, but I feel like pretty much everyone that's there on a consistent basis could win a tournament or could go out and compete well in a tournament. Like they're that good and we train that hard. But like Kirk's just so laid back and doesn't even like really, he's not like, hey, if you're gonna train in my gym, you have to be doing this.
No,
he does not care.
One of my favorite things about Kirk is even his promotions are based off whatever your goals are.
Right.
So if you're 40, have 2 kids, can only come twice a week, whatever your goals are based on, whether it's just getting better, just showing up whenever you can, trying to do this move, versus mine, who I want to compete, I want to be a world champion. Like, we will be promoted the same way based on our goals.
No, I love that place. Like, it's like my little home away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I trained at another affiliate gym for a long time, and I really, really liked jiu-jitsu. And I've been to a bunch of other gyms, but like it's just I don't know what it is about Arnold that's like home.
I get it.
You know.
I get it. I started jiu-jitsu at St. Charles MMA.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed it there.
Yeah, that's a great gym.
That's I love
gym,
if you're an MMA fighter, you should absolutely
dude,
go to St. Charles MMA. Like, it is the best gym for MMA in St. Louis. Like I said, I've been to every gym in St. Louis, and I can't complain. But
jiu-jitsu's in St. Louis, like, not shitting on anybody. If you're into jiu-jitsu and you live in the St. Louis area, like, that's a good place. You're in a good place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it doesn't really matter what gym you go to.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's tough people everywhere.
Yeah. Everybody's competing, you know. There's good coaches, good guidance for all skill levels. Like, if you're just somebody that wants to just chill and just do a little bit of it, you know, and not really go full-fledged, you know, every gym has a little spot for you.
Yeah, that's something I've really liked that we've grown it into more. It's like when we were in the basement, you were there for that, right?
Yeah.
So the basement was a lot of just like competition training. It was always super hard, and it always sucked.
That was how I got turned on to that's how I found out about it, because Tyler King had come through Sullivan, which I've known Tyler King forever.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get him on the podcast, but he's a busy guy. He's crazy. But anyway, back in like 2020 maybe, it was like I think it was summer of 2020, I ran into him. And he was like, dude, he's like, if you want to get your fucking ass beat, like, go to Arnold. And I'm like, I don't know, never heard of that place. And he's like, oh, it's a Boggy gym. I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. So I go down there, and, like, it did not disappoint. I was like, everybody was fucking me up.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I went there the first time, leading up to Pam's the first time, I threw up twice my first night there.
Yeah, that was the first time at jiu-jitsu where I was like,
and the worst thing was, Kirk was even like, okay, competition training's about to start. If you want to leave, you can.
I left an hour early, and everybody was still going.
But I stayed, and we were doing burpees for another hour and rolling, and it was terrible.
It's crazy. My first class that I ever went to at Arnold BJJ, a lot of the people that were there that night are still there.
Really?
Were there just the other night.
Who?
Like Randall, Dakota.
Yep.
Those are the two that stand out the most. I don't think that Vince was at the first class that I went to, but he was definitely like second or third. And Bo. Yeah. Colin was the one that really stuck out to me. He was the first person I rolled with at Arnold, and he had a white belt on, but he was not rolling like a fucking white belt.
Colin was the biggest pain to roll with.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you did, it didn't work, and he never got tired.
No, never got tired, and he was good.
He was 140 pounds, and I was 290.
Yeah.
And could not do a dang thing to him the entire time.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Shout out to Colin.
Absolutely.
Wherever you are these days. I don't know.
But what I was saying is, like, so we have the competition, like, part down. We've always had that. But now we have beginners classes.
Yeah.
At 6 with Gage. And I really like that. As, like, I think the beginners classes there just because it's an extra hour of training.
Yeah.
And now we get people who just do the beginners and are completely satisfied with it. And then we can do the competition later, too. So now we have both kind of sects of jiu-jitsu, the hobbyists and the competitors.
Yeah, I've been coming... I usually get there around like 6 o'clock, and I'll jump in on the like novice entry level, just to kind of get a good warm up, because there's not a lot of like live hard rolling in that.
But I really learned a lot from that class. Gage has some
that's
good
like
things.
that's where you like cut, like really work on like your fundamentals of a move.
Yeah,
and I really like that, because that's how when I started, I was at Voggy headquarters, and that's more how that class is set up, where it's not as much live rolling and it's more technique. Like it's about an hour and a half class, and the majority of it is just the technique, and then towards the last like 20 minutes it's circle drill, like, hey, somebody go down,
like man in the middle. Yeah.
But like at Kirk's, it's man in the middle the whole time, and it's like go.
So I guess it was Thursday, it was no-gi day. And we probably drove for about 20 minutes. The next 40 minutes we went live. And I was in the middle 3 times. 5 minutes each time.
I feel like I'm 10 times better at jiu-jitsu since training with Kirk than I did in the first. So I trained for like 8 years before I started to work.
But you were very inconsistent with that, right?
Yeah, it was like I'd 6 months on, 6 months off, 6 months on, 6 months off. And, I was kind of a decent white belt. And then once I started to spend a lot of time with you guys over the last year, way better. I feel like I'm 10 times better than I've ever been.
Yeah. I feel that same way. Like, I remember I took second at the Chicago Open.
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, I have got to like change something with my training. Like, I got to do something different. So I started committing to Kirk's full time.
Yeah.
And I think about like how much better I've gotten since that point, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I think of myself at Pans last year, and I see that jump, and that's ridiculous to me.
What's Pans really like? Like, from the, for somebody who's watching this and is thinking about like getting in and doing that, because Pans is a different level of competition. Like, because a Fuji tournament will get you a little bit like nervous, like, oh shit, like I don't.
Yeah. So when I was a white belt, I was the king of Fujis.
Yeah.
I went to a bunch of Fujis. I won a bunch. Submitted.
Fujis are awesome.
Yeah. Like, they're good tournaments. They're good local tournaments for beginners. I think they're amazing. So the first IBJJF I did was Pans in 2021. And I thought...
That was your first IBJJF?
Yes.
How fucking nervous?
Here's the thing. I was so naive to the level of competition that it was, that I thought because I won all these Fujis, I won the local AGF, I was going to go in and kill everybody.
Right.
And I got wrecked my first match. And I not only got wrecked, the guy I lost to got wrecked in his next match.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And then
is a different breed.
So, yeah, that's when I realized, like, honestly, it's one of the best things that's happened to me. Because it made me realize how much better I have to get, how much better I can get. So, that was 2021. 2022, I tore my PCL. Couldn't go to Pans that year. So, 2023 was it. And that was when I was like, I really need to commit to the IBJJF schedule. Go to all the opens, like, bring myself up to that level.
Yeah. What weight class were you competing at?
Ultra heavyweight. I've only ever competed at ultra heavyweight in jiu-jitsu.
Are you gonna go down though? Because you've lost quite a bit of weight in the last just 3 or 4 months.
I would like to drop a weight class. 222 is the next one down, and I'm like 260 right now, so I'm still 40 pounds away from it.
260 right now?
Yeah.
I would have not guessed that.
Really?
At all. I thought that you would have been like 260 back in January.
No, I was like 295.
Dude, no way.
I was big.
You were rolling with me at 295?
Yeah.
Just fucking beat the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. See, I thought, I was thinking you were probably like 260 there. No, you were like closer to 300.
Yes.
That's insane, dude.
I was pretty big.
That's awesome, though.
But,
do you feel better? Like, was losing weight part of like the thing? Is that also something you were trying to accomplish, or it just happened?
Yeah. So like I've always known I needed to lose weight, but obviously it's hard. Especially training this much, limiting your diet is hard. Especially like you're on a calorie deficit, so you don't feel great at all. And you go to train with the killers we have at Arnold, and you just get destroyed the entire time. So definitely like finding a balance of like what to do and a way to do it was very hard for a long time.
Yeah.
But now I've kind of zeroed it in, and I've been feeling good. The main thing I felt with losing weight is I just don't get tired anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like my cardio, my endurance is skyrocketed.
What about outside of the gym? Do you just feel better, or do you really notice much of a difference?
I think I feel better overall, too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. I weigh 160.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to go up against you.
And I have you mounted trying to smother choke you.
Yeah, dude. And like, I remember one time, it was like right before Pans. Pans was coming up. And I'd been training a lot, and like me and you were rolling together, and we weren't like trying to kill each other. I think we were kind of both catching our breath. And Kirk walks over and he just looks at you and he goes, "You should be fucking killing him."
I
and
actually,
I'm like, you just look at me and you go, "Sorry."
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt. I thought about that on the way here. I remembered that, and that's pretty much how I felt. I was like, I don't want to do this to Joe. He's a lot smaller than me, and I want to roll with Joe more. So I don't want to make him not want to roll with me.
No, it's all good. At that gym, dude, you got to roll with everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, at Voggy headquarters, I didn't really do that as much. I kind of picked like my 3 or 4 people that I kind of like felt comfortable with, and then I would kind of like stick with them, and then I just kind of avoided people. And I think that's why like my skill level didn't really progress, because I just didn't.
You didn't go for like the challenger.
Yeah,
the harder
see,
belts.
At Arnold, I don't care
You don't have a choice.
who you are. Like a 400-pound super jacked guy could come in that's 6'5". I'm gonna roll with him.
That's that's another thing. Like,
and I'm gonna roll hard. You know,
we have a lot of white belts and we have a lot of blue belts.
Yeah.
So like, you kind of have no excuse. They're all white belts.
Right.
You got to get in there too.
And like, our upper belts are really really good. And
Absolutely.
Like, they're big guys.
Yeah.
Everyone's big.
Yeah.
Like, there's not very many people.
Bo is big, and he's the biggest pain in the ass to roll with.
Yeah, because he's
in a good
tough.
way. He's tough,
really tough.
He's technical. He's good at the
surprisingly fast for a big guy. He's fast. And like, there's not really anybody at the gym that is under 180 pounds.
No, probably 170, 180 is probably like the average.
Yeah, because like there's a real skinny guy that I just started kind of to get to know there. He's just a white belt. But I was even like, how much you weigh? He's like, oh, I'm like 185. I'm like, damn.
And then like someone who is probably close to your size, like Gage, he's a purple belt.
Yeah, purple belt.
Been training. Gage has been training for like 15 years.
Yeah.
He fought MMA for a long time, so like he didn't really get promoted a lot.
Yeah,
but
me and
he's
him,
an animal.
me and Gage rolled. I guess that was Monday night, maybe, or when? No, I didn't go Wednesday, did I? I was there Monday and Tuesday this week. And yeah, we rolled hard as fuck.
Yeah.
That's why I got this cut on my head.
Oh, really? That sounds about right.
Shout out to Gage. No, I just love that gym.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love
that's
that
awesome.
gym. I've gotten so much better. But it is funny how it's just like, you know, there might be somebody your size like, oh, it's purple belt though.
Yeah, exactly. And then like one of the big things that helped me a lot was Jordan, Big Jordan.
Yeah.
When he joined the gym, that really helped me because he was the same size as me, 290, but he was a college wrestler.
Yeah.
He won Pans 2 years ago as a blue belt, destroying everybody. So like him being there and being my main training partner has just rocket launched my progression even more. And like mentally with that too, I know in competition I would never go against anybody as good as Jordan.
Right.
In blue belt competition, it won't be. So my main training partner is literally the best guy.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, I haven't got to roll much with Jordan just because it's like, you know, he is huge.
Dude, he picks me up like I'm a small child.
Yeah.
And he puts me down.
I've rolled around with him like a little bit here and there.
I say that, but he's actually the safest guy to roll with.
Yeah.
It is insane how controlled he is. Like I've never seen him hurt anybody.
Right. No, it's kind of crazy. The amount of training, like the pace that we train at, you'd think there would be more injuries. I mean, everybody's like hurt, but you know.
Yeah, but no one's usually out for a long time.
Yeah,
because of practice.
There's not people snapping their arms and blowing their knees out. Not that it hasn't happened, but you know, we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, I've always wondered, like, when I first got into jiu-jitsu, I kind of like, I was turned on to jiu-jitsu by guys like Tyler King and some people that were really, really into it, like early on.
How did you know those people?
Tyler?
Yeah, like Tyler.
So Tyler's from the same town that I'm from.
Okay.
And we went to elementary, middle school.
Okay, so you've known him like your
yeah,
whole
I've known
life.
Tyler forever. He was actually almost my brother.
Really?
Yeah, my dad and his mom were like almost married.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
in the
know
80s.
that.
Yeah, so me and Tyler is that close.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, but yeah, so Tyler, I don't know if you know like Stephen Carlisle.
Yep.
He's from the same town. Well, not from there, but he went to high school with us. And there was a handful of other people in like 2010, 2011 that were like kind of getting into jiu-jitsu because the UFC was really starting
that makes more sense.
pop off.
Yeah.
Plus the Joe Rogan podcast was starting to get, pretty well known, and he was always talking about it. So I did a couple of classes, but it just like wasn't really for me at the time because I was like 18, 19, and I was still drinking and partying, and just like wasn't really dedicated to anything at the time. But I did kind of like get into it there for a little bit, and then in 2016 That was when I actually ran into Tyler again, and he was like, had just gotten his purple belt, and he was telling me all about pans and worlds, and he was like, you gotta meet this guy, ain't you Wiltsey? And like, that's where I really got introduced to jiu-jitsu, was from him telling me all this shit. And he's like, you gotta meet these people. He's like, come to this gym, go to this gym. And I was like, well, what gym should I go to in St. Louis? And he's like, go to Vagi.
Yeah. Back in the day, like when there was less gyms, Vagi was definitely the place to be. But yeah, I whenever I go to different gyms now, I always get asked, like, do you go to Vagi's? Like, everyone, all the, like, not older guys, but like I'm 25, so everyone's older than me.
Right.
And they always ask me, like, Vagi or the old people at St. Charles. Like, I heard Vagi back in the day was just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was told about Vagi's early on, like back in 2010. Somebody was like, that's the hardest gym, like, don't go there. Like, you know, you can't go there. Basically, they were like, you can't go there if you're a beginner, you'll get fucked up. So I was like,
it's probably true.
Kind of, yeah. At that time, it might have been. But, you know, I got real into it in like 2016.
Okay.
And, but then I was, you know, stopping and starting. And I did a tournament my first few months of training. I got second at like Fuji St. Louis.
Okay.
And, but then I blew my knee out. And then my next class back, I, like hurt my back really bad. Had to get surgery on both of them. Wow. And, yeah, so then I took probably about 6 or 7 months off. Came back and then, was always telling Rodrigo, I'm like, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna get good, I'm gonna get my blue belt and blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, everybody tells me that.
Exactly.
And then right around 2020 is when I found Arnold, and it's just, I feel like I've been way more consistent there than anywhere else. Especially the past year or so. I feel like I started hitting the gym at least once or twice a week for the past.
Yeah, I feel like you've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
And with all the stuff you have with real estate and everything going on, that's perfectly fine.
And, like, we live an hour away.
Oh, dude.
Fuck.
I live 35 minutes and I can't stand it sometimes.
Yeah.
An hour? Nobody.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I tried to, like, tell, you know, some people that, but then, like, I watch, you know, the history of like Gary Tonin and Jordan Ryan, where they had like a 3-hour commute.
Yeah, they
like,
drove from southern New Jersey to New York City.
Yeah,
every day.
I guess I can't really, you know, talk too much an hour.
And they were doing that just like we are for free, not getting paid. Like
since competing in Pans, have like, you know, what's been the difference since? Like, have any of the jiu-jitsu brands kind of like reach out to you or anything, or like, you know, got any sponsorships, anything?
No, well, I'm a brand affiliate for North South Supply Co. It's Bo and Vince's brand at the gym. They make really good gis. I have a bunch of their rash guards.
Yeah, dude, I need to get them guys on, because like, for one, Bo's funny as shit. And really the stuff that they post online is hilarious. But that North-South supply, like, shout out to them. Those gis are awesome. The logo looks fucking badass. And, like, that's just them guys at the gym. It's not even like a...
No, it's not like a super professional, like, big organization. It's just Vince and Bo. What I like about it more is that the gi fits me super well. I'm 5'8", 260. Not a lot of gis fit me very well. Right. Because I'm short and fat.
Yeah.
But like it was an A4S, so it's short, but it fit me really well.
Yeah. What else do you have coming up? Do you got...
So I'm doing, in July 12th, I'm doing a cash bracket in Chicago. Winner gets $1,500.
Damn.
It's a maximum of 16-man absolute, open weight, open belt.
Damn. What organization is that with?
It's a Combat Sports Report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I supposed to have Cody Kellison on here in a couple of days, actually. He's been scheduled a couple of times, but always gets messed up. He's got a big fight coming up. Where's the... It's like...
next May 10th.
St. Louis Invitational or something? Do you go to those?
So I went to one.
What are they like?
It was awesome. It's in, Red Hall, is that what it's called? It's like a metal concert venue.
Oh, okay.
Like a heavy metal concert venue. And it's really cool. The venue's really cool. Elevated stage. It's sold out people. There's a bar. It's really cool. I was supposed to be on that one, but actually at Pans I broke my hand.
Oh.
And
That's what happened there? You broke your hand at Pans?
yeah, I broke my hand in the semifinals. I wish I could say that's why I lost, but it's not. That guy was just better than me.
Yeah.
But it just happened there, so I just started training again, and the match is 2 weeks away. I'm just not ready for a match there yet. But I was supposed to be on that card too.
Do you think you'll compete at Worlds or anything?
No, not this year. Next year, absolutely. No.
Any specific reason?
Just like I'm just coming back, and Worlds is in 3 weeks. It's at the end of May.
Oh, that's right. Is that a Gi Worlds?
Gi Worlds, yep. No Gi Worlds is in December. I might do that depending on.
I thought it was flip flop.
Nope.
Damn.
Gi Worlds is May.
Damn.
Yep. So next year I'm definitely doing Worlds though.
Have you ever done an ADCC?
I've done one ADCC Open. That was in 2023, I think.
What's that like? I've heard the ADCC, like the no-gi stuff, is just like it's a whole nother level of competition.
It was different for me in a lot of ways. Okay, one, it was the first rule set that I competed in where heel hooks were legal.
Right.
Okay, where reaping was legal, where toe holds, knee bars, a lot of leg locks were legal.
Yeah, just if you get a leg, try to rip it off.
Yes, absolutely. The rule set is completely different. 6 minutes, first 3 minutes no points, first 3 minutes with points. Okay, and I'm in the intermediate division as a white belt.
Right.
So their intermediate division has blue and purple belts in it.
Yeah, you're gonna be competing against some people that are
Yeah.
really good.
So I did it. I went 1 and 2, which I think I could have done better, but I put way too much pressure on myself for that because I expected myself to do better.
What were your competitors like? Were they real heavy wrestling based, or were they more strictly jiu-jitsu?
So one guy I went against first round. He took me down. I couldn't really tell you like which he was more in favor of, but he definitely took me down really well and armbarred me very well.
Yeah.
So he was just a better
Just
overall
ahead of
grappler.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. My next match was the first match on the loser side. It was against a purple belt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we pretty much hand fought and did nothing but stare at each other for the whole regulation period.
Right.
Nothing really happened. Overtime starts. We're like hand fighting again, and he tries to like lat throw me.
Yeah.
And I do it in wrestling called a Metzger. You like grab in between the legs and you step to the side, but we kind of both fell back, and he put his foot right in my armpit, and I got a heel hook and finished it.
Oh, there you go.
And I wish I could say I planned that out, but I completely didn't. His foot just landed right in my armpit. I reached back, hooked it, and finished it. And then my next match was actually against the same guy I lost to the first time, because he had lost his next match.
Oh, okay.
So then I got taken down and armbarred again.
Damn.
But he was pretty good, and that was a good experience overall for me, though.
Do you like ADCC or?
Yeah, I did a tournament earlier this year called Subspectrum, where they pretty much use ADCC rules.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't like about it is the no points first and then points in the second.
Is Subspectrum is that an invitational or do you just sign up?
No, so they do 2 trials a year. So you can do the trials, and that qualifies you for the final later on in the year.
Right on.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff online. Some new jiu-jitsu organizations that are doing like invitationals, and there's some money that people can win, which is that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Like Sabateros, I think how you say it. They had the $100,000 Grand Prix 155 bracket.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
It was in like southern Florida, Miami, or something like that. It was, but like when you get money like that, professionals are coming out. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of jiu-jitsu, so like DeAndre Corbet was in it, Ethan Krellinston, Diago Pato was in it, big names.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are definitely big names.
But to finish my thought on ADCC, it was when I go to matches, I like to score points early.
Right.
I try to score the entire time. So every match I had at Subspectrum, which was the same rules as ADCC, I would get a takedown, pass the guard, do something, all in a no points period.
Oh, so.
And then I would win by 2 points at the
Right.
end because I needed a takedown, I needed a pass or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's like more annoying than anything, but I like the challenge of it too.
Right. Because, a takedown, passing the guard, that should give you big points.
Yeah, that's 5 points, but there's no points in play until 3 minutes in.
Right. But, no, I don't know, I really like watching the gi. I know no gi is super popular, like online, and you know most people. I think that the surge and the amount of people that are into jiu-jitsu now is probably because of no gi. But like I started in the gi, and that was how jiu-jitsu was introduced to me, was in the gi. So I like it.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to get people to do jiu-jitsu that like I know, like people that I'm friends with or from, you know, around town. And a lot of them are like, oh, I'd be into no gi, and it's like, well, no, the gi is actually really fucking cool. Like, but I don't know, it gets a lot of hate online.
So like Kirk said this best. When you start, the gi feels like a leash, and you're constantly being pulled back by it.
Yeah.
But once you start to figure out how to use it and like ways to manipulate it in ways that you like, you start to like the gi more. Which is definitely how I felt. I hated the gi when I was really new, and now that I've been training in it a long time and figuring it out in a lot of ways, I really like the gi.
Right.
But I think gi competition can be exciting, but it's up to the competitors to make it exciting.
Yeah, it kind of depends on, you know, what they're doing.
Yeah. So like there was I think it was 2022 Black Belt Worlds, Mika Galvao and Ty Rillatolo. Crazy gi match. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay? Despite being in the gi. I believe competitors can make the gi exciting, but people play stalling games a lot of times.
And like sometimes it's not really stalling, but you end up in these weird positions, you know, where it doesn't even really look technical. Like I've watched a lot of gi matches. I've watched a lot of great gi matches.
Yeah.
But there's some, it happens a lot where it's just like, kind of like a scramble, or they're like half-assed in a type of guard, and like they're just holding on, and they're not really doing anything, but it's like you can't do anything because...
If you make a move, now you're making the mistake first. Like, yeah, I get that.
And it kind of sucks for like the people watching because it's not really entertaining.
No.
And it's only entertaining for people like me and you who really know what's going on and why they're in that position. But like, if you're...
And that's only sometimes. Sometimes I watch gi and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I've watched no gi and be like, this sucks.
Yeah,
like,
you watch it to fall asleep. But, I don't know, man. I think it's great that jiu-jitsu is growing. Do you think jiu-jitsu is growing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, Master Worlds is... IBJJF always says it's getting bigger every year.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu Con's getting bigger every year. They just added kids to... like a bunch more tournaments. They added kids no-gi to tournaments in IBJJF. It's definitely getting big.
Yeah. I wish I could get my kids into it.
You have really young kids though, right?
10 and 11.
Okay.
And then I got one that's about to pop out over there. And then I have a daughter that's like a year and a half.
Okay.
So, my son is...
So you can get the two older ones into it and they'll be good age.
I try, man. They're into their own stuff. They won't even play golf with me. Golf was like what I was best at, you know.
You know Mark at our gym? Blue belt, older guy? He's the golf coach. I think he...
Mark?
Yeah.
He's a golfer?
Dude, he's a really good golfer.
I am going to have to talk to him.
I forget what he said his handicap was.
Why have you not told me this?
He had a really good handicap.
Paul Mark?
Yes.
The dude that fucking flat-backed me hard as shit that day?
Mark's a 49-year-old high school teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some days he messes me up.
Yeah, dude. He's a tough guy.
He's very technical.
Yeah.
And he loves wrestling.
I bet there's a kid at his school that probably thinks that kid probably thinks he can take him.
Guaranteed.
No idea.
Guaranteed.
Mark would wad him up.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
so
he's like a really good golfer. I can't remember what his handicap was, though.
Yeah, I remember, so I first met Mark, you know, down at the other gym, in the basement. And he was tough then, for sure. We were both white belts. He's blue belt now. But,
yeah.
No, that's funny. I had no clue that he was into golf. But were you there that day when he was like, hey, let me show you this move? And I was like, oh, okay. And
I vaguely remember this.
Not really paying attention.
I remember I was like drilling or something at the time, and I saw like a big motion out of the side of my head, and I was just like, what the heck was that?
Oh my god, dude. I thought I had to go to like a chiropractor the next day because like I was hurting so bad. And like he did this little funny foot sweep, and he goes, all right. And he did it, and then he kind of like took me down easy. He's like, all right, I'm going to try it one more time. And he did it again, let me down really easy. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it this time. And then I kind of was anticipating, like, the same thing. And, dude, the last time, he, like, just kicked my foot out, dude. And I swear to God, I was fucking planked in the middle of the air.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's a good
at
foot
eye
sweep.
level. And fucking boom! I'm like, I jump up real fast. He's like, you alright? I'm like, yeah.
I'm good.
I'm fine. Yeah, dude.
I'm good.
I'm good. And the next, like, the rest of class, I felt like my head was going to explode. And then the next day I woke up and my head was still, like, throbbing. And I'm like, what if he gave me, like, a brain aneurysm and I just fucking die? I'm like, God damn it, Mark.
There was one time, he literally said, Jared, I haven't taken you down in so long, like, what the heck? And he foot sweeps me and just puts me on my butt right there. And I was just like, Mark, you literally just said that 10 seconds ago, and you just nailed me right here.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Well, I seen him, like, the next week after that happened, I had, like, finally recovered. And I seen him doing it to some, like, new kid, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Here we go.
I'm, like, kind of watching, I'm like, should I say something? No.
Nah, he's got it.
Yeah. That's funny. No, golf is fun. Golf is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not like jiu-jitsu. I got into jiu-jitsu because I just wanted, like, something fun a fun way to exercise.
Yeah.
I used to lift weights all the time, and I was like, dude, this is boring as shit.
What do you like about jiu-jitsu?
What do I like
Like, what about doing jiu-jitsu do you like?
Pretty much, I don't know, it's a combination of everything. Like, I like coming to the gym and seeing everybody, for one. And then I like the way that it makes me feel when it's, like, done.
Okay.
You know, when after class,
Yeah.
and it's just like, whoa, I really feel like I've pushed
Yeah.
myself in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when I'm driving to the gym, I'm angry. Like, really fucking mad. Like, you know.
So it's like an outlet of all your emotions?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, like, because it's funny, I think about this all the time. When I'm driving up there, I'm screaming at people on the road, I'm threatening to fight people on the highway, and then I'm listening to, like, violent music, just, you know. And then after class, I walk out and I, like, look at the sunset. I'm like,
it's so pretty outside.
oh, yeah, that's so nice. And I'm, like, looking at people and I'm waving, and I get in my car and I turn on, like, a nice podcast. And I'm just, like, chill as fuck, and people go flying by me on the road, and I'm just like, cool car, dude. I like that. It's totally
That's funny.
Totally night and day difference.
That's funny.
But no, on the way there, you better watch the fuck out, because I would jump out of this car. But other than that, like, learning.
Okay.
You know, because there's jiu-jitsu is like it's almost like a curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you were gonna study science or math or history or something, like, jiu-jitsu has its own curriculum, and, like, you have to. It's a fundamental thing, and it's technical, and you know, you can. We've all seen the armbar. We know what the armbar is. We want to do the armbar or the triangle, and it's there, but you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you can.
So that's kind of like what I like about. I like the problem-solving aspect of it. Like, I'm getting armbarred right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do I escape this armbar?
Yeah.
Okay, I have Brian Moberg, like, in headquarters. How do I pass his guard without getting armbarred? Good luck with that one, first of all.
Right.
But, like, I like the problems that it presents and then me trying to solve them.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to quickly solve them, obviously.
Yeah.
So I like the problem-solving aspect of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. No, I've finally gotten to a point where I don't just get smashed by everybody, and I can pass guard, and I can do a lot more things, and, like, when I do end up in a position, I know what to do from there, or I can at least attempt it. You know, it's not real fluid or flush, but, like, before, I spent a lot of time training jiu-jitsu and would get in, like, very basic positions and still couldn't really do anything.
Yeah,
you know, like, I got somebody in my closed guard, and I'm, like, holding on, and I'm like, I'm gonna, oh fuck, no.
When I started jiu-jitsu, I really wanted to play guard because it was something
Yeah.
I'd never experienced before when I wrestled in high school. So I was, like, pulling guard all the time at practice, but just getting it blown by because I have no idea what to do from there. And then, like, eventually you just start getting a little better. Now I can hold on to his leg.
Right.
Now I can have my hands in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a slow progression through those.
Well, it's also cool too. Like I think, if you start training jiu-jitsu, you have no real like combat experience. Like if you got high school wrestling and then you go to jiu-jitsu, you're gonna be 10 times better than somebody that's coming in off the street and never done it. But like if you're one of those people that was like me, I didn't compete in wrestling. I got in a lot of fights growing up as a child, but that's totally different.
Yeah.
I was scrappy and I knew that I needed to try to defend myself even in jiu-jitsu. If you're one of those people, I think it takes a good 6 months. And then about that 6 month period, you're going to start to kind of see jiu-jitsu differently, and you're going to start to be like, oh, this is the type of game I should play. And you'll kind of feel more of a top player, maybe you're a guard player. I don't like guard. I want to pass. I want to grab onto somebody's legs or get a hold of somebody or, wrestle or whatever. My wrestling is not good. I don't really know what to do. I just know to fucking try to just blow through somebody, get them down, and get around their fucking legs and get on top of them.
It's funny. I hear a lot of new people always talk about, well, I want to get submissions. I need more offense and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't start getting even offense, not even submissions at this point.
Right.
Until 2 years in. 3 years in.
The only people that I can submit are like the newer people or somebody that's like, a white belt. I'm not getting no submission on somebody that is equally as talented as me. That's going to be a very back and forth match.
I think a lot of people are too much focused on the submissions and not everything leading up to that. Especially in the beginning.
Right.
If you're experienced in a lot of ways, obviously that's like what you need to do. But in the beginning, there's a lot more you need to work on before submissions.
Yeah, I think that understanding guard, and then are you going to be a guard player or are you going to be a passer?
Exactly. And figuring out your style.
Right. What is it that you think you want to really do? Like for me, I feel like I'm still young enough where I can just be more of a passer and then play like the top game or chase for a back.
Yeah.
And I like to wrestle. I don't really know how to wrestle, but I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I get it.
And
I like guard. I don't really know how to play guard. I like
my
it though.
one guard that I do kind of know would just be De La Riva. And I feel like a lot of the matches that I watch, everybody has some form of De La Riva. But I don't like just immediately sitting.
No.
I think that a good jiu-jitsu match that's going to be fun not only for the people who are doing it, but fun for the people that are watching, and just overall a good match is two guys that are trying to force each other to the ground, where you have to get the person to the ground.
Yeah. What people want to see is action.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only thing worse than bad jiu-jitsu is bad wrestling.
Right.
Watching two guys just walk each other back and forth for 10 minutes, it's terrible. And as a heavyweight, that happens in a lot of my matches. Yeah. And I hate it. I can't stand it.
I would probably rather, see, if they were just kind of what you're saying, walking each other back and forth. At that point, then it's sure, just one of you guys sit, But I hate when you get two guys that are my size, high level, and they come out and immediately
they
just
both sit down.
Fuck.
Exactly.
But
the thing about one of them needs to pull a guard. Do you want me on top of you?
No.
I don't want me on top of me either. So I get it, and I have pulled guard in matches, and I did a whole tournament last year. It was the local AGF where my goal was to play guard more. That was.
Don't you have a wrestling background though? Did you wrestle?
I wrestled in high school. Yeah. I wasn't the greatest, but I definitely learned a lot, and I learned how to move my body a lot.
What years were you in high school?
I was in high school from 2013 to 17.
13 to 17.
Yeah.
See, I was gone.
Yeah.
I graduated in 10.
You were talking about 2010 and stuff, and I was like 9, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But and I loved wrestling, and I coached for a few years after that. But I really wanted to do something different. I saw jiu-jitsu through MMA, and I tried to watch it. I just really wanted.
Where did you grow up at?
Florissant.
Florissant?
Yep.
Nice.
I went to McLuhan North.
That's actually where my dad is originally from.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I went to McLuhan North. I wrestled there all 4 years. Wrestled every summer.
All 4 years?
Yep.
Damn.
Wrestled every summer.
Did your mom and dad kind of want you to do that, or is it just like... Hey?
No, I was the only one in my family that did anything like that.
Did you have friends that were wrestling?
My best friend wrestled my freshman year. Our freshman year, we were the same grade.
Where's he at?
He, like, what do you mean?
Where's he at now?
Oh, he's an ultra runner.
Oh.
Like,
so he's not into jiu-jitsu?
No, he's not. He ran a 100-mile race in January.
Holy fuck.
In less than 24 hours.
100
He's an animal.
miles.
Yes.
Jesus.
But,
yeah, he'd probably be good at jiu-jitsu.
He wrestled our freshman year. Didn't the rest of the years. It just really wasn't for him.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it though. As soon as I got in there, I just liked every second of it.
Wow.
I wasn't very good, like I said though. My first 2 years, I didn't win a single match.
Really?
And I'm like, that's not an over.
Do you think it was just the coaches were like, oh, he's just an underclassman. It's not really something we're gonna prioritize. Just let him do what he's gonna do.
Here's the thing. Like, my wrestling team was very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
My coach was very serious about getting state placers, getting people to the state tournament placing. Okay, when you start in high school, you're starting at 14. In Missouri, especially, there were kids that start when they're 4.
Right.
So by the time they get to high school as a freshman, they have 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
If you start as a freshman, you are lucky to be a state placer, and that's if you work really hard in between that. And I had zero natural ability at it at all. So, like,
how much did you weigh in high school?
So my freshman year, I was probably 195, but I was really short and really fat, like I am now. But then I lost some weight. I wrestled 170 my sophomore and junior year, and then I kind of grew, like I got taller.
And 170 is not that heavy.
And put on some like muscle size and got it back up to 195 my senior year. But I was in a way better shape than I was as a freshman, obviously.
What, did you ever make it to state or anything?
Nope, I lost so in Missouri it's top 4 from districts go to state.
Yeah.
I lost the match to make the third place match. But
so yeah, I had a couple of buddies that were big into wrestling in high school, and like they were really, really good. Like these dudes, I mean, they were the kids that they just wanted to fight from kindergarten. You know, they were fighting on the playground, they were fighting at the parties. I mean, these dudes just were bangers.
Yeah.
And I knew this one guy, Carl Lawrence. He was a year older than me, and he went to state in wrestling, and I think he did pretty well. I think he finished in the top 3 or something in his division. Dude was an animal.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was big. He was a big guy. I don't know what his weight class was, but shout out to Carl. He's the wrestling coach at Sullivan now.
Okay, I think I've seen him probably then.
He went to what's that Missouri college? It's like Missouri. I can't even think of it. It's out in Marshall, Missouri. It's a big college. They're known for like wrestling.
Like Missouri Valley or
I think it is. It might be like Moval.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. But he was like I think he was ranked nationally. He went to the national tournament every year and did well. But I had this one buddy that was also into wrestling big time, and he was a year younger than Carl, and like he would always be like, this is my year, man. I'm making it to state. I'm making it to state. And he would lose that match to get to state. Yeah. He would just dominate all year long. And then that one big match, he would always lose that one. And I always felt just like,
yeah, so close. But I loved wrestling. Like there's nothing I enjoyed more in my life than that point than wrestling.
I fucked up. I should have.
Dude, my coach said this. He's like, he's never heard someone say that I'm glad I quit wrestling.
Right, yeah, no, definitely.
My wrestling coach said he's never heard anybody say that. I coach wrestling now. I've had kids be like, yeah, I shouldn't have quit wrestling.
Right.
Like, I've met them at Club Fitness, like, just seeing them around. Yeah. They're like, oh, dude, I shouldn't have quit. I loved it.
Yeah. See, like, at my school, wrestling was pretty big. But I wasn't, like, I was into fighting, like, in school, but like for some reason I just wasn't into wrestling. Like I was like, how am I gonna wrestle if I'm not mad at any of these guys? Like, you know, I only wanted to wrestle like if I was pissed off. And then like the one thing that really turned me off about wrestling was like the outfit.
The singlet, that's becoming more and more popular. Like
I went to a wrestling match at the high school my freshman year, and dude, there was like it was a big deal. And like there was a lot of the older girls were there, and I'm like, there ain't no way I'm putting that shit on in front of them.
That's funny.
So that always turned me off. But the coaches were like, Joe, you should wrestle. And I'm like, dude, I got blacked out over the weekend. Like, I'm a pothead.
So you were partying even in high school? Like, it was really young.
Yeah. Before I even got to high school, I was a delinquent little shithead.
I never really did that stuff.
Yeah, I think partying was not right after like I graduated. High school parties and kids partying, just that whole thing really died out.
So my sister's 30, so she's like 5 years older than me. And I guess you're probably 36?
33.
33, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are around the same age. And she went and partied a few times, but like definitely when it came to like my age, like no one really.
Yeah, I think it was
and also like my coach was also my mentor in life, and he had the expectation of all of us to not do that.
See, I needed that.
Yeah.
That's what I desperately needed.
That's what I got most from wrestling. Was like I had a mentor in life that helped me a lot.
Do you still talk to your coach?
Yeah, every once in a while.
He knows you're competing and doing jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely. But like he helps me. Like we've talked about, I want to get into real estate, like rental properties. But he's getting into that too.
Oh,
so he like helped me with the first few steps of that, and he knows a guy that does that too. So they've been helping me a lot with that.
That's awesome, man. You want to talk about a fucked up business?
Really?
Rentals and real estate. Just like, I don't know, man. It's
I mean, I've seen horror stories.
You shouldn't really, like, I really haven't had too many, like, how many properties do I have? We got over 20. And, like, I've only had one of them, like, fucked up by somebody that deliberately, was just being a fuck ass. And that, like, that's pretty good. For that many properties, absolutely. Like, you only had one person really mess one up.
You always hear the bad stuff with that, but you never really hear the good stuff. You never hear about the tenants that just get in, move out, and leave.
Yeah.
Which is most of them, right?
Well, yeah. For the most part. A good tenant will stay a long time, and you won't hear much from them. Yeah. They don't really bother you. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they're not really there. A bad tenant is gonna be, calling you at bad hours. They're gonna be pushy and rude, and they're gonna expect a lot from you. Yeah. A bad tenant thinks that you're their mate.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
And so that was one thing that got me. The only thing that's really gotten me in trouble in real estate, not to like turn this into a real estate podcast. Yeah. But being desperate for money. So like lowering your requirements for tenants. Yeah, where normally like I pride myself on being really strict, but there's been a few times in my life where I was like desperate and I needed to get a property filled, so that I could have money to survive, and so I would rent to somebody that probably shouldn't have been there. Yeah. And every time that I did that, it fucked me. They didn't tear up my property, but I would almost rather somebody just tear up my property and leave, rather than what ended up happening. I rented to somebody that I always had to chase the rent down, and they were annoying, and they're just bad, negative people that just were a pain in my ass. Like I got desperate one time and rented to this lady, and she seemed really nice at first. And like right before I showed her the property, she had a bag of money, and it was all there. I counted it out. She was good to go, and she lied on her application, so she didn't work where she said she worked. She said she was a manager of like a Chuck E. Cheese. She said she was a manager of a Chick-fil-A. Okay. So I'm like, all right, that's fucking good. Yeah. Well, she was a first month default. She didn't pay her rent the first month. Okay. So I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I call her, and she's like giving me the runaround. Oh, my mom got sick, and I took off, and they fired me. So I called the Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, yo, do you know this lady? They're like, yeah, she's not a good person. And I'm like, well, I tell them what she told me. Yeah. They're like, no, she missed all the time. She only worked here for a couple of weeks, and then she bounced out. She worked here a couple of weeks and missed 3 days. Like, so we let her go. I'm like, oh. So, and then for an entire year, I dealt with this woman on a weekly basis, chasing down rent. trying to
Yeah,
shoot
I get what you're
me,
saying.
you know. And it's like, had I just not been in that position, I wouldn't have, you know. So
Yeah.
don't get desperate.
No, yeah.
But no, it's a good
Yeah.
it's a good way to make a living.
Well, so like, you want to go back to jiu-jitsu? What do you want to talk about?
It's up to you, man. We're 55 minutes in. It's been a good podcast.
Did you ever watch Car-Jitsu?
Car-jitsu.
I wanted to talk about is Car-Jitsu.
I thought it was a
And
joke,
just-
but like people are like
dude.
actually into it.
Yo, I've done matches in that. Yeah.
Where?
It,
Like, is the car moving?
no.
I was
No. So,
How fucked
you don't
up
know
would that
I've
be?
done Car-Jitsu matches?
No, I remember somebody like kind of talking about it.
Dude.
I've seen clips of it on Instagram and shit.
So the guy that runs it, JT Tilley, he knows Kirk from forever.
Yeah, everybody knows Kirk
Exactly.
from somewhere.
And Kirk was like, hey, Kirk was gonna do one,
Mhm.
and JT was like, hey, if anyone else in your gym wants one, like we can get them. So I was like, yeah, if they find me somebody, I'll do it.
Right.
They find me a guy, and so I go to Branson, Missouri.
Branson?
Yeah, exactly.
I love Branson.
And it's in JT's gym, which is the size of one garage.
Really?
They move the mats out of the way, they pull the car in there, and they film everything from inside that gym.
Damn. So you actually, it is actually in a car.
It is in
But
a
you're
car.
not- you're not moving.
The car is not moving, and you start buckled up in the seats, and they say go, and you gotta take the seatbelt off and try to choke each other in the car.
Damn.
Yeah.
So,
It's just as stupid as it sounds.
yeah, was it, what did you think of it afterwards?
It's
Like, it feels like it would just turn in, like, I don't even know.
it's definitely different, and I think it's a kind of a weird application. So like,
I feel like I would start laughing.
oh, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But especially like I'm not small. The guy I went against is his name is Darius the Destroyer.
Mhm.
You ever watch slap fighting?
Yeah.
He was like the best slap fighter in the world
Oh,
at one
fuck.
point. He was on like the first season of like Power Slap.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he was like the best. So I was like 290 at the time. I was big.
Mhm.
He's like 270. There's 500 pounds of man in this car.
In this car.
We outweighed the car. I'm not even kidding you either. So like we were like jockeying each other around. The whole car is moving
Yeah.
at the same time.
How many people were there? Was there like a lot of people watching?
So it was just the competitors and the production crew.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. But there was probably 20 people there total.
I guarantee you I saw like clips from it. I just didn't see your match.
Dude, I've done
Because
4 matches.
I was seeing Car-Jitsu like show up in my Instagram
Mhm.
feed, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this looks like these guys are taking this shit serious, but like they're in a fucking car.
Yeah.
And I sent like a clip to Kirk, and I was like, are we gonna start doing this? And I didn't really like know Kirk
Yeah.
really that well. Like me and Kirk just kind of became, I guess we're friends, like just a few months ago when I interviewed him.
Yeah.
I trained at his gym for 5 years. Dude never spoke a word to me.
Sounds about right.
Until I was like, hey, you want to come on my podcast?
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, yeah, you should come to New
Mhm.
Orleans. And I was like, all right, I guess
Yeah, I remember
we're
that.
friends. But yeah, I seen like some of those clips, and I was like, what Car-Jitsu?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if it was real or not.
Oh, it's real. And the fact that I remember driving there the first time, and I'm like,
Did
what?
Kirk go with you?
No.
No.
What? No, his guy did end up pulling out. He didn't do the match. So it was me and my friend Dan, who used to train at Arnold. We went down there, and I did the match. I remember driving there, and I'm like, what in my life
Yeah.
led me to this situation right now? I'm going to go do jiu-jitsu in a car.
Yeah. Okay. You know,
And then I've done
that's a long drive.
No, dude, it sucks.
Long drive, and like
Yes.
like you drive 3 or 4 hours for
Yeah. For a Car-Jitsu match.
a 5-minute
Yes.
match.
Well, like, so, JT's, like, a great person, so he gets you a hotel room.
Oh,
They, like,
okay.
have food and drinks there. It's
Yeah.
worth it. Like, it's definitely cool if anyone wants to do it.
What do you think about squad scraps?
Oh, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I was not expecting really to compete. I wish I
Mhm.
would have,
Yeah.
you know, spent some time actually,
Mhm.
prepping for a competition. But it was a good time. I like the format. I like the whole idea of it.
So like the original quintet rules was like winner stays in.
Mm-hmm.
I get how like you get one really good guy and he runs through everybody.
Yeah.
But when I did it, I wanted to see if I could go through a few teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I could, maybe I couldn't, but I wanted to see if I could. Now it's just one. Everybody goes once.
Yeah.
Which is more fair. It makes more sense.
Man, like the quintet, I just feel like you're gonna get tired, and then maybe at some point you're gonna get so gassed that even somebody that's nowhere near as good as you is gonna be level with you.
Absolutely. I just want to see if I could do it though.
Yeah. That's a great test of like your durability and your mental toughness. Because I think that's another thing that I really love about jiu-jitsu is pushing myself to where I feel like I'm about to die. Where like that's also my least favorite thing about jiu-jitsu is when I get tired, because like I want to keep fighting, but I'm like everything on my body hurts right now, and I'm like, I can keep going, but if I do, what if I blow my shoulder out or my knee or something? And it's like, well, what did I do that for? It's not like I was going to Worlds next week,
That's like the thing I tell like people who are like not competitors. It's like it's practice, okay?
Right.
You don't have to win every round of practice. You shouldn't win every round of practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like go, hard.
We can go hard, but it's not worth getting hurt over. Tap.
Yeah. And that's another thing that jiu-jitsu has showed me is like how to wrestle and not get mad, because I used to like
if you're losing,
whatever it is, like just competing in general. Like when I was younger and like my friends would wrestle around with me, I did not like that. I was like, don't touch me or I'm gonna fucking try to kill you.
Yeah.
But jiu-jitsu has showed me how to do that and like get better at fighting like without getting angry when somebody's just beating the shit out of me. I mean, I do get a little mad like when somebody's just absolutely destroying me and I can't do anything about it. But it's like, are you gonna get mad at the 230-pound purple belt?
Yeah. My wrestling coach said this in high school. He's like, every once in a while there should be a fight in here.
Right.
If it's that competitive and everyone's trying like that hard, every once in a while there should be. But like if you're just a regular hobbyist, like you're just there for fun to train.
Right. Yeah, I think
you have to be okay with losing and tapping. I tap all the time at practice.
Yeah, why would you not? Like, if you're not gonna... I think I was talking to Kirk about this the other night, and I was like, hey, I want to, officially get in and commit to a tournament and do this, because I've been a fucking white belt for like 10 years now, and it's like, it's time to level up, and I was like, I want to pick a tournament. I want to train specifically for this tournament, and I want to work on these set things, and I want to win this fucking tournament, and then I want to get, to the next level. And I think that's what I want to do, is actually spend the time and train a little bit harder, and not like, usually 8 o'clock rolls around and Kirk's like, all right, if you're sticking around, do this, and I'm usually like, all right, well, I'm gonna head out. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna really, like, if I'm gonna do this, because Kirk's always like, hey, you need to do this tournament, you should do this, and I'm like, well, I don't really feel like I'm training enough to do that, or I don't feel like I can really win that. So I messaged him and I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I want this, 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 and this, and we work these things, and you actually take the time and fucking make me get better at jiu-jitsu. Like, don't let me bitch out and walk out the gym. Like, no.
That's something Kirk's, like, done really good against, like, with me. Like, making sure I do the extra work. And he doesn't like, hey, you have to do this, but he's like, oh. You didn't stay last night, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how Kirk is.
Thought you wanted to win. There was one time, it was after practice, he's like, okay, if you're competing, 50 knee slices.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're competing, 50. If you want to win, 100.
Right.
And it's just like, well, now I have to do 100.
No, and that's good. I mean, you really do need to do that.
Absolutely.
And I think some things... another thing with like competition for me is really the dedication. If I can't get there every day to train and be like prepared for this thing, I don't even want to put myself out there. I know that there's some people that compete, maybe training 2 or 3 times a week or whatever. But I also know there's a lot of people out there that compete and they train every fucking day.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm not training every day, I don't feel like I did enough to win. And if I don't feel like I did enough to win, then I shouldn't be there. So I think that's something that I'm going to really work on, because I've kind of I've got caught up on business a little bit so I can get away. And I think I can, at least for the next like 3 weeks, I can take 3 weeks, maybe even a full month, and train every single, just do it.
Yeah.
But it's tough because I'm getting ready to have a child.
Exactly.
Yeah. But luckily, we've talked about it a lot, and she knows that it's, it's important, and she comes to the gym with me, so, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's something I'm definitely trying to do is hit a tournament this year and actually fucking win.
Okay.
I'll
there was this video Keenan Cornelius posted. It's like a half hour long, and it talks about competition preparation.
Yeah.
And it really helped me a lot. He talks about the 3 aspects of it: mental, physical, and tactical, whatever you want to call it. The physical, Kirk's got it. Don't worry, you're going to be in shape. The mental and the technical is what I draw most from it.
Yeah.
And I'll send you a link to it. It's awesome. It's like a 30-minute video on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's open to everybody.
See, and that's another thing about jiu-jitsu that has changed probably in the last 10 years, is the amount of content and information about jiu-jitsu that you can learn from. And like, think about if you're trying to learn like baseball or basketball or soccer. If you type in like, how to do this basketball move, it's some random Joe Blow basketball coach that's, hey, here's how you shoot the layup. If you type in jiu-jitsu, you get like Gordon Ryan, the #1 best guy. Like it's littered with the actual world champions. You can't learn baseball from Albert Pujols. You can't just go to Albert Pujols.
I don't think he ever does a video like that.
Yeah, and like if you want to go to a gym and learn jiu-jitsu, you're learning from a high-level black belt, somebody that's probably been or competed at worlds or some big tournament or something. You have access to those types of people in this sport, and that's why I really love jiu-jitsu, is that how easy it is to access high-level people and learn from them. And like if you want, you can go train at Gordon Ryan's gym. Like you can go in there, you can meet him.
You can go to Austin, pay the mat fee, train.
Go to New York. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them guys, and even like Mike Rogers and them, like that guy's a fucking legend.
Yes.
That's a great jiu-jitsu MMA coach, Rodrigo Vaghi. Like that's the equivalent of learning from like an Albert Pujols in baseball. That's like saying, my baseball coach is Albert Pujols.
Like, excuse me, what did you just say?
Right. And like that's how lucky we are with jiu-jitsu, is that you get to learn from people like that. It's not Joe Blow goofballs,
I've heard Kirk say this before too. It's like, what other sport could you go on? Could you have a problem, go to YouTube, and within 2 hours have a solution that you can expertly do into your game?
Right.
Pretty much none.
And like 15 years ago, that didn't exist.
Exactly.
So yeah, like I'm thankful for it. I think jiu-jitsu is in a pretty good place. I think as far as like, probably not just jiu-jitsu. I mean, with YouTube, you can learn just about anything these days. But with jiu-jitsu especially, it's really great, all the resources that are out there. Because, like, you can watch the YouTube stuff, but then you can also go to a gym and learn from a black belt that can maybe piece some things together for you that you didn't get in the video, or explain some new details that weren't in the video, and then you can actually go and implement it, do it live.
Like, another thing with videos is like, there's so many things you can do in jiu-jitsu. No one can be good at everything.
Right.
So you get, this person's good at arm triangles. This person's good at lasso guard. This person's good at finishes from the back. Yeah. Like, you get people that cover everything in a, like...
I think jiu-jitsu, like, you kind of have to, like, if you're a new person coming in, I think that's something you should kind of focus on, is like, what kind of game are you going to play? Because you can't be good at all of it.
No.
You're not going to have a great spider guard. You're not gonna have a great lasso guard, De La Riva guard, and worm guard, and space guard, and J
Space
guard, K guard, G guard. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have. You're not gonna be black belt level at all of this.
No.
So that's kind of like for me. I was like, I should just like when I talked to Wiltsy, I was like, he kind of broke it down to me. He's like, just if you're gonna be a passer, be a fucking passer.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a guard player, be a guard player. Pick one guard and get really fucking good at it. And then once you're really good at that, then move to another one.
Yeah.
But he's like, either you're a passer or you're a guard player. He's like, you're not going to be both.
The first time I met Wiltsy, he came down the on to do like a knee slice.
Yeah, I was there.
That he did. Okay. This was like
2022.
3 or something like that. Yeah, it was forever ago. Feels like to me forever.
Right.
He arm bars me, and I have my grip, and he like pulls the arm, and I slap him right in the face on accident. And this was on YouTube. He posted it on his YouTube page.
Yeah.
You just see my hand, bam, smack him right in the face. And then I was like, oh my god, that's gonna be on YouTube. Like, that's embarrassing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. And then his entire page got deleted.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that's kind of good. The video of me slapping Wiltsy's gone.
Yeah, I thought about messaging him this morning. I seen a clip of him on YouTube this morning, and I was gonna text him, but I was like, fuck, nah. I don't really know. Did you watch the interview?
Yeah.
I felt like it was pretty good.
I think it was good. I've met Andrew a couple times. I think that was the first time I met him was at Arnold. The second time he did a money bracket in Springfield.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't you like sign up like pre-register? He's like, oh, because if I sign up, no one else will, and then there's gonna be no money involved. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So he shows up and he destroyed absolutely everybody.
Yeah, dude. I watched. Have you ever seen him beat Roberto Jimenez?
Yes.
That's pretty crazy.
Yes. I love watching Roberto Jimenez.
Yeah,
he goes against everybody.
Still one of my favorite guys.
He goes against everybody. He doesn't care gi, no gi, doesn't care the rule set. I'm the same way. I don't care if it's gi, no gi, whatever the rule set is, we can go.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I love jiu-jitsu, but like, I wish that Kirk had an MMA class. Like, hey, this one night, bring your pads, we're all gonna hit mitts and hit the bag and like have like a striking and stuff. Like, I understand him not wanting to like
he doesn't want to train fighters.
Yeah, I understand
He's not
that.
interested in it.
You know, like, hey, we're gonna do this just for like more of an exercise and self-defense type stuff. But like, I definitely understand him not wanting to like have people come in that want to be MMA fighters. Be like, come on, you know, teach me that. But I do wish that like at least once or twice a week we could get in there and just, you know, just do it for the exercise.
Did you ever want to try to have an MMA fight?
Oh yeah.
You did?
Yeah, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Definitely not doing that.
I want to, and I still do, but I like think about it, and I'm scared, and I'm terrified to do it. Which you should be. It's an MMA fight.
Yeah, it's an MMA fight.
Like,
I just like, I think about it, but then I'm like, well, for one, I'm 33, so there's not really any point to
there's
start.
not a Masters division.
Yeah,
MMA.
there's not a Masters MMA division. And then also just like the CTE and stuff, getting hit in the head.
Yeah.
Because, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But at one time, you know, in my early 20s, I was thought about it, but I could never get myself to actually fucking train.
Yeah.
You know, and then once I did, I would think I was like 22 or 23 when I started doing jiu-jitsu like consistently. But then I would take breaks, and then I was only doing jiu-jitsu. I wasn't really doing MMA, and I didn't really learn how to hit pads until I was like 29. And at that point, I'm like, I'm almost 30. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna make no MMA career. And like, you know, if you go, like, let's say I just wanted to do one MMA fight. I gotta go do that MMA fight in front of 1,000 people. You know?
I mean, like...
At like a small hall, everybody's drunk.
You ever been to Nemesis? To like a Nemesis
shows? That's a big fucking ordeal.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of like a small...
Like in the back of a bar or
like
something
maybe
like
a street beefs. Would you do street beefs?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Oh, dude.
Are you kidding me?
If I got to pick my opponent, I would definitely do
that's
street
different.
beefs. Like, pick somebody that you don't like and be
different.
Like, fucking... If you can get him on there, I'll go.
So the guy that like got me into jiu-jitsu, his name was Curtis. I used to work with him, and he always talked about doing street beefs. He was like a garage. I call him the garage warrior.
Yeah.
Because he was always in the garage training, so he's like a black belt level, but he's never been actually belted.
Right.
He can strike and he can really grapple well. He's always talking about going to actually do street beefs, and I think you would mess a lot of people up in it.
Yeah, probably.
He's really good.
Yeah, I actually. So that was something that I actually kind of wanted to do, was like start my own like underground fight league, where I would have like a slap division, and then I would have like wrestling and grappling and jiu-jitsu like stuff, but then I would also have like backyard fighting, where like no gloves.
Did you ever see the video? It's like they're in like a garage, not like a garage, like a parking garage. And they have like the yellow cage around them. They're wearing shoes and they're on concrete.
Yeah.
Did you ever see those videos?
Those are vicious.
Is that real? I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, that's
dude.
Real. I think it's like King of the Streets or something.
Okay.
It's over in the UK.
Really?
It's a UK.
It looks terrifying.
That's the video that you're talking about. They've got like their own. It's a league. It's an actual.
Oh, really?
Like an organization, but it's an underground one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just meet in like concrete parking lots.
Yeah.
We watched it. Remember the other day? Dude, like they beat the
it's
fuck
scary.
out of each other.
It is a legit fight. They're wearing shoes, like on concrete, bare knuckle,
and like you can get kicked in the head, kneed in the face. Like there's no, I mean, I don't.
There's not even a ref in the ring, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just when somebody decides to step in and split it up, like because it gets pretty bad before they split them up. Like the last one I watched, I was like, all right, he's done. He's done. All right, fucking stop.
He's still on the ground,
he's still like getting just fucking beat on. But yeah, I'd like to start my own fight league and do that.
Like I would want to do an actual MMA fight, nothing unsanctioned.
Yeah.
Like.
So I want to have a bar and a restaurant where I do like slap. So like you have like the bar.
Dude,
restaurant.
that's how it started.
Everybody comes in, like everyone's having a good time, and then you just set up the tables. And people just start slapping the shit out of each other. And people are drinking, having a good time.
Like the Darius guy I mentioned earlier, I asked him, like, how'd you like get into it? He's like, well, we were at a bar, and they had a slap tournament. The winner of the slap tournament got a free tattoo.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
His friends wrote his name on the list.
Yeah.
He didn't even do it. And they call him up there, and he's just nailing people, knocking them out.
See, that's the type of shit that I think about, like, when I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude, I need to get this bar and restaurant, and then I'm going to have fights there. But not, like, it'll be sanctioned so the cops don't come. Like, you know? But, yeah, that's how I see it in my mind. Is like, I'll have a slap league, and we'll do it at, like, my bar. And it'll be fucking awesome. And the winner gets, like, 4 free beers or a tab.
4 free beers?
Yeah, yeah. Or like a free, their tab's paid for the night, you know, something like that.
Oh, that'd be a lot better.
But
you get a lot of people.
Could you imagine like the promotion for that would just be fucking awesome?
You could pack the house.
Yeah,
especially if you go to some podunk town.
For sure, dude. Which is where I live. So, you know, yeah, dude. That would be. I think it's in the works. I think I'm this close to doing something really kind of dumb, but
that's awesome. That's like awesome dumb.
And I'm definitely inviting all the Arnold BJJ people they get in for free.
Oh, I'm definitely coming to watch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, we're an hour and 18 minutes in, dude. Fucking badass.
Okay, done.
Anything else that?
No, I don't think I got anything else to talk about.
You don't have any other... We're not competing at Worlds, we're not...
No, not doing Worlds. I'm doing the Combat Sports Report, $1,500 cash bracket in Chicago.
Hell yeah.
After that, I got the Subspectrum Finals in August.
How can people find you on social?
I'm on Instagram at Bear Mbolo, Bear, B-E-A-R .Mbolo.
Okay.
And then Facebook at Jared Brammeier.
Facebook, sweet. Awesome.
Yep.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank, again, Jared Brammeier for coming on the Garbage to Gold podcast. We'll definitely have you on again. Good luck moving forward as you progress through jiu-jitsu, and good luck at Subspectrum and, you know, the rest of the ones that you do. And we'll be seeing you again, and I look forward to sharing the mats with you as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
I'm going to have you get me ready for my tournament. Whichever one that's gonna be. I don't think Kirk's gonna promote me unless it's an IBJJF. So
that's probably true.
I gotta. That's quite a task.
You can do it.
So I'm looking forward to it though. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe.
Back in it, baby, just in a town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down.